Welcome, welcome. Today we're going to make just a really quick, cute little top. It's called the swing neckline. So I saw this picture, let me show you the inspiration, and I love that neckline. I thought, you know, that's so fun and easy and so different, it changes up the whole look. So I started thinking about what makes it likable. So when I look at this photo, the first thing, don't kind of pay attention to those numbers here for a minute, but the first thing is the contrast between the wearer and the garment. So I decided that I wanted to pick a fabric that had a high contrast between my skin color and the top, so that the neckline was definitely dramatic, which is what I wanted. I wanted a little drama neckline there. I could call it the drama neckline, but we'll call it the swing neckline because it's just swung over a little bit. All right, so then what I did is I started scaling this out, and this is just a fun project to do anyway. And you could do this, you could make your top, or you could do this to an existing neckline that you already have. Maybe if you have a top and you've worn it and you're a little tired of it, just bam, change the neckline. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We started with pattern 195. Pattern 195 is the sweater set. You all know, love it, you know. You could start with really any t-shirt base as long as you understood how the neckline relates to 600, because I'm using 600 as my base. My fabric is this beautiful, you know, velvet is everywhere for fall. And so my fabric is this beautiful stretch velvet. It's a navy. It just has a great hand. It has stretch in both directions. The stretch that's greater, I put going around just because, like a t-shirt, that's what I wanted. But what I love about these, it's kind of a navy velvet embellished. What I love about them is they're just so pretty, but they're so easy to care for. You throw them in the washer, throw them in the dryer. They're just wonderful, and yet they just zip it up so quickly. Throw on a belt and you actually look like you know, taken some time. So it's a wonderful thing. So let's go back to this photo, this first photo, and what I want to show you is how to kind of measure a photo and compare it back to yourself. And we've done this before, but this is a good exercise. We're going to do it again. So I measured the photo, and I measured the photo from her shoulder to her shoulder. And when I measured that photo that I printed out, it doesn't matter what scale it is, you're going to scale it to you. I measured, it's 5 inches across, and then I measured myself. It's across, sorry. And then I measured myself from shoulder seam to shoulder seam, and I'm 15 inches. So I knew that everything in this photo was 3 times as big on me. So then, once I did that, I could start to measure. If you notice, the width of her shoulder is measuring 1 inch on this side, because this is the side it doesn't go to. Is measuring 1 inch, so I made mine 3 inches finished. And if you notice on the other side, it's narrower and it's measuring 2.5, so I could adjust it on this side as well. Okay, everything is 3 times the size. I could measure how deep it was, and so that's what I did. I went through that process of knowing that I was 3 times the size of this photograph, so I could make the photograph me. Okay, all right, so that's the scaling. Then if we go to the next photo, it's all just about French curve placement. And so you can see that I made the lower side over here. The French curve placement was kind of like this across my body. The numbers are all there for you. 11 went at the shoulder, 21 came here, so it swooped across. If you notice, I marked center front. So you can just see sort of where center front is. Keep in mind, this does not have to be exact. It's just a beautiful kind of asymmetric line. It's a beautiful way to put on a necklace, to do something like that. I decided to let the neckline speak for itself and just let it go. So I decided no necklace was probably the way to do, and I put a belt on instead. You guys know I'm a beltaholic. So you can see that that's this side of it right here, where it goes like this. Then the French curve changed up like so. So this is the French curve position. It goes across like this, 11 to 21. Remember, those are your cutting lines, your stitching lines, and not your cutting lines. So hang on, I'll show you how to do that. And then I flipped it up like here. 11 went to the shoulder seam. Notice in that picture, I took away some width. That's where I took away to make it from 3 to 2.5. So I took away a 1/2 inch in width. And also, if you notice, I continued it to the back. So I had to take a little bit away, but I just blended it into the neckline. The neckline in the back, you don't want to widen, you don't want to change, you don't want to make it If you do, it makes it less stable in a knit. The back neckline being close and tight is what supports the front neckline. So keep in mind that you don't want to do a lot with that back neckline other than match the shoulder seam here front to back. And so I took a 1/2 inch away here and then made this 11 to 17 is where it met right here. All right, so that's all. You take away from the front, take away from the back. Then this last photo is just showing you where I marked center front so that you could kind of see where center front is and, you know, not make it too complex or somehow get the perspective of where it is. I added the seam allowance. I chalked it. You guys, I have this chalk that I use that I absolutely love. We have it on the site, but it's amazing because it just shows up so easily. You just use a point and it shows up just on anything. We have different colors. And I just chalked it. I chalked the French curve line, and then I used my little Curvette Plus to put the seam allowances back in. I chalked that, and then you can see I'm cutting it away. And you can see there that it goes into that back. Be sure it goes into that back seam so that you can definitely make sure the shoulder width matches on that side. So that is just, it's so fun and it's so easy, and I just love the neckline. It's just so unusual and so different. So in the sewing process, what I did is I'm sewing it just like the sweater set. I sew the French darts, I sew the shoulder seams, I serged the neck edge. I just turned it under because I'm not going to go back to the original picture. But if you go back to the original picture, what you see right at the deepest part of this kind of curve, it's not sharp. It's gentle, which means that there was no facings involved, that they just literally serged it, turned it under, and top stitched it. And you can even see the top stitching. But whenever you have a curve that's, or a point, I'm going to say, that's a little bit been gentle, made gentle, it's because the seam allowance has been turned under. If it's sharp, there has to be some kind of facings to it, just an FYI. All right, and then I set in the sleeve. I did lengthen it, for me, 6 inches because you guys know I'm a leggings kind of girl, leggings and belt, and so that's my MO. And so this way I knew it'd be long enough I could just throw on a belt. No jewelry because the neckline does all the talking, and we're good to go. So we cut that away, we leave it, and then we're ready to sew. So grab a little bit of fabric. I used 2 yards, a little bit of fabric, great little pattern, the swing neckline. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.